Hey guys, it's Vaughan again, and I'm back to follow up on what we just talked about. If you got the last one, was on the subconscious and fears, and we're still going to talk about prospecting. So now that we've laid the groundwork, that you have developed some fears in your subconscious mind, how do we overcome that? Well, let me give you some thoughts on this. You're going to go out and buy something, and I don't care what it is you're going to buy. I really don't. You purchase emotionally and you justify with fact. You purchase emotionally and justify with fact. And you may say to yourself, no, I analyze and I da-da-da-da. Well, you do that second time. You don't do it when you first see whatever product it is. Now, I happen to have been raised with all females in my house, a wife and 2 daughters. Now, let me tell you about shopping. When these ladies, now I'm not talking about any other ladies, but the ladies in my house, when they would go out shopping and they would buy something, they would come home and say, you know, it's the deal I got was so good on that blouse, I was able to buy a slack outfit that went with it. And I said, well, that's cool, but we still spent the whole amount of money. We could have saved some. So they bought the blouse and they're already justifying it with the price and what they did. Now, I do the same thing. I go buy a set of golf clubs. I said, you aren't going to believe what I got these ping clubs for. Well, baloney, I'd have bought the ping clubs anyway. So I got to tell somebody that I got them for a good price, right? That's how we do things. Well, if that's a fact, and if you will buy that as a fact, so back in your subconscious, you're always going to do that, and that's true, then why, as salespeople, do we go out selling people facts instead of emotion? How many times have you gone in someplace to look at something, doesn't matter what it is, and the salesperson starts telling you all of the hard facts about that product? And especially if they're sort of a nerd and if it's sort of electronics, they will just kill you with facts. And you know, when I go buy a camera, do I want a camera? I don't want a camera. I want pictures. You know that last year there was 5 million quarter-inch drill bits sold in the United States. What did these people want? Did they want drill bits? No, they wanted quarter-inch holes. They went to the store to get a bit that would drill a hole for them. Well, why did we? So anyway, when we are salespeople, do people want to buy a house? No, they want a home. Let me give you a real quick example. One of the things that I learned about at the end of my sales career in real estate, when I really finally knew what I was doing, I met a couple. And they had a Down syndrome child. And his name, I forgot, I think his name was, they called him Hank, I think. His name was Hank. And Hank was like 4 or 5 years old. And one of the things that Hank had to do was swim every day. It was real important that he swam every day. So what his mom would do was, she was a stay-at-home mom, and the other 2 children would go off to school, and she would go down to the local community swimming pool and swim this child. So I went out to show these people houses, and before, of course, I did that, I interviewed, and he was a real strong guy. The husband was a real strong business guy, real macho, and sort of run the family. And he said to me, I want 4 bedrooms, and I've got a Corvette, I've got a 63 Corvette, I remember him telling me this, and I've got to have it in the garage. So I got to have a 2-car garage. I got 4 bedrooms, I want an office and home, and each of the kids got to have a bedroom. And I guess the girls could be one or whatever, but it had to be a 4-bedroom house. I said, okay. So I went looking at houses, and I found one I just knew that she would like. And by the way, women buy most homes, not the men. But at any rate, I went out to show them houses, and I called them, and I picked her up to take her over to this house. And he was going to come from work. So he drove up, and he drove up in front. He got out of the car, and he was livid at me. It had a carport. Well, he's going to get madder because it's only a 3-bedroom house. So we walked in the house. So we go in, and he said, you took my time away from work. It's a 3-bedroom house. It doesn't have a garage. Well, I said, look out there. And we walked past the dinette out in the kitchen. There's a big pool. And she went bananas because it was a place for them to let Hank swim with not having to walk down the street. Well, I left them alone for a moment, and they started talking. He came back and he said, well, actually, we could get along with 3 bedrooms, because I got an office down at the office. I don't really need an office at home. And he went out with a measuring device, and we measured, and he said, I could build this in. He was a builder, actually. We can build this carport into a garage, and I can get my Corvette right in there. What happened? Facts. If I'd have listened to facts, they gave me facts. 4-bedroom car, a garage. That was facts. What's the emotion? Emotion is a child. It's a child with a disability, and we took care of that. And when I was with them in their house, their biggest thing was their child. So I noticed something. So I was paying attention. And I didn't sell them facts, and I didn't sell them his facts. So when we're talking to people about whatever it is you deal with, whatever it is you want to move, sell, you want to promote, you want to share with people, you've got to remember that it's the emotion that's going to make a difference, not the fact about whatever it is. So, you got a piece of property, for example. I've sold an awful lot of houses, and what they really did, I sold a tree in the backyard and a house went with it. I sold swimming pools right there and a house went with it. I sold a school system and the house went with it. Alright, so what are you moving? Are you moving some kind of a product, maybe a vitamin, maybe some kind of a medicinal drink that'll take care of a challenge that they have at their home? Maybe it's arthritis. So therefore, why are they going to buy your drink or buy whatever you got? Not because of it, but because they get rid of the pain. Right? So when you start reading all the facts on the bottle and you start doing all that, you lose them. They don't care. You tell them that they'll walk without pain, they don't care what's in the darn thing. So what means you got to give them to them long enough for them to reduce the pain, and you won't have to sell them that bottle of whatever. They'll be taking it away from you because you've demonstrated what it is they really want, which was the emotional part, not the fact part. So once again, we'll get back to whatever you're dealing with. We'll take that product, find out what it does, not what it is. Find out people that need what it does, and then you go to them and tell them what will happen if they share your product with you and them. If you share, what happens? Then they'll feel better. They'll look better. How about more money? When you're talking about people coming to my business will make money, what's money? Money's nothing. It's an exchange. What does money do? You have to find out what money would do for them, and then you've got to concentrate on that, not on the money. Let me tell you something. No one works for money. People work for freedom. People work for nicer things, but they won't work for money. No one will do that. So you have to make sure you're demonstrating the correct part of your product. Well, look, I hope this helped. I hope we've moved another step further. I hope someone there got touched in some way. If that happened, that's great. Please come back and join us again. We're having a great time doing this. Have a great day.